Politics are either a shit show or you just sit back and laugh. And in this case, yeah, I'm curious to know what your take is on this. Michigan Senator Elissa Slotkin has introduced the Connected Vehicle National Security Review Act, which aims to establish a security review for connected vehicles, mostly electric cars, manufactured by companies from China or other countries of concern. This will pave the way for sales to be limited or banned if they pose a threat to national security, under her opinion, I guess. Slotkin's office, they say the bill will go even further than Trump's tariffs and Biden's effort to target Chinese cars and technology. According to the overview, it will go beyond the limits presented by traditional trade restriction tools, such as tariffs, which may not prevent countries of concern from establishing production in Mexico or other nations for export to the United States. So the big bad guys in China are going to come and take over your brain and insert technology into you, and I don't know what they're going to do, but anyhow. Anyway, what apparently this will do is close the loophole by specifically targeting any connected vehicle or vehicle component built by a company under the ownership, control, or jurisdiction of a country of concern. So you should be very fearful. Bad men are out to get you, basically. While Congress appears to be fine with certain automakers and insurance companies spying on unwitting Americans, your own brands are doing that, they apparently draw the line at China. Slotkin said this: Chinese vehicles could collect huge amounts of data on America and Americans, which poses a significant national security threat. Now, I don't know what Slotkin's on about, because there aren't any Chinese cars even being imported into China. I wonder if she could jump on Google or ChatGPT and, just ask it, just say, hey Siri, how many cars are the Chinese selling to America right now? Find out what the response is. Maybe she already knows the answer. I don't know. She said this information could include what apparently China is using to drill into your brains, anything from videos to 3D maps to geolocation data of individual drivers. Despite playing up the national security angle, says Car Scoop, Slotkin was pretty blunt. She said, I will lay down on the border, I don't know what border she's talking about, to keep Chinese vehicles from entering the US market. Now, there are two vehicles made in China that are American, sort of. The Buick Envision and the Lincoln Nautilus. They're made in China and they're sold in America. But she says they're okay. The Buick Envision, Lincoln Nautilus, they won't spy on you. Don't worry about those. She won't lay in front of those vehicles on the border, whether that's Mexico or Canada or, I don't know, the coastal borders to the ocean. I'm just imagining her trying to lay everywhere at once. It's sort of comical. Yeah, anyway. So, guys, I just want to assure you, Americans, everything's okay, because this senator has vowed to lay on the border herself, put her body on the line to make sure you don't get into trouble from all these Chinese cars being sold in America. Thanks for watching. Reports are now saying that what I said 3 years ago was right. And yes, it's true that China will eventually own the automotive industry worldwide. Now, I'm exaggerating here a little, guys, but recent reports have shown the trend. And it's just something that we need to accept. It's happening. By 2030, more than 1 in every 3 car sales worldwide will be a Chinese car. Now, I think these numbers are understating the reality, but here's what analysts have been saying. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. It's great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Guys, I just got my sauna going today. Finished sauna. It's a barrel sauna. If anyone wants to know about why I'm doing that and what it's all about, let me know. But anyway, it's quite an experience. Doing the cold therapy in my pool, it's freezing cold, jumping in there, jumping in the sauna, and now I'm feeling full of energy and ready to go. And it is a Sunday here in Australia. Now, getting to the story, China may deliver 1/3 of global vehicles by 2030, says this report. In fact, there's numerous reports saying this now. Alex Partners says that even as the US tries to protect the domestic market, Chinese automakers continue their steady march to global dominance. Now, the interesting thing is here, we know that BYD are building a factory in Mexico. That's announced. BYD have confirmed that. And do you think they're only going to sell their cars in Mexico? I don't think so. In addition to that, Volvo are manufacturing EVs in America as well. A little bit of a Trojan horse there. But also companies like BYD and other Chinese car companies are building factories, Leapmotor, building factories in Europe to make EVs in Europe. But in addition to that, EV exports this year from China have grown by 60%. Chinese automotive brands are expected to achieve more than 33% market share across the globe by 2030, including 20% market share in Mexico, which is, come on, that's massively understating what's really going to happen in Mexico, surely. Anyhow, for Western automakers, it's not just competing in the Chinese market, it's competing with the Chinese automakers around the world, said Mark Wakefield, global leader of the automotive industrial practice at Alex Partners. If we just look at some really simple numbers here, guys, China already owns, it owns a bit more than 33% of the entire global car market in its own country. China on average sells around 26 million cars a year. The global car market's around 75 million cars. That means that more than 1 in every 3 cars worldwide is sold in China. And if we have a look at the Chinese, what's happening with Chinese cars in China, well, we would know first of all that this 33% number, it's already here. So Alex Partners is saying this will happen in 2030, but statistically speaking, if we're actually just objectively telling the truth here, they've already hit that 30%, 33% in fact, because right now every car sold in China is made in China. Yeah, the only car company owned by a Western automaker where they sell cars at all in China that's owned by anyone else is Tesla. Tesla are the only car company that own their own factory. So what that means is that every other car sold in China, in fact, other than a couple of thousand, which are imports, every other car, millions, right? More than 20 million a year, they're made by Chinese automakers in a joint venture partnership or simply by Chinese automakers. But these joint venture partnerships are, they're crumbling. I mean, Mitsubishi have left, or all their joint venture factories. I don't know what happened to them. Jeep have left. In addition to that, we're looking at companies like Nissan saying they're closing down some of their factories. They're saying that they're not, but they are. We know that they are. So the sales are the other issue here. Legacy automaker sales in China are collapsing. So eventually by 2030, are they going to sell many cars in China, these legacy manufacturers? I don't think so. I reckon they'll have less than 20% market share in China. That would mean that more than 20 million cars in 2030 would be sold completely by only Chinese-owned companies, not joint ventures, just Chinese car companies. And there'll be a few Teslas as well, I'm going to assume. So if you think about it, this 33%, it's actually not that hard to get to in terms of purely only Chinese-owned brands.